Today I'll talk about capacity management. It is a part of operations management, and I will give an example from a clinical laboratory. So I will talk about capacity. I will talk about capacity utilization rate. I will talk about capacity management. I will talk about capacity planning, and finally I'll talk about capacity models. So what is capacity? Capacity is the ability to hold, receive, store, produce, or accommodate raw materials, finished products, customers. So, for example, it is an ability to produce finished products. Capacity utilization is the extent to which the productive capacity of a business entity are utilized in generating services and goods at any given time. So now we come to capacity utilization rate. It is equal to capacity used divided by best operating level. We will see what is the best operating level towards the end of this lecture. There is another term known as capacity efficiency. It is how much a machine or worker perform as compared to standard output. To increase capacity utilization, we need to raise the demand or lower the capacity. So if overall capacity is lower, then the utilization will appear higher. So to increase capacity utilization, we can raise the demand, lower the capacity, or increase the efficiency. So if we do the work efficiently, we can increase the capacity utilization rate. These are various dimensions of capacity similar to dimensions of demand. There are these dimensions of capacity. So quantity dimension is that how much capacity is needed in our business. Time dimension is that when should capacity be available. Quality dimension, what kind of capacity is needed. Location dimension, where should capacity be installed. So these are various dimensions of capacity. This I have taken from lecture by NPTEL. So what is capacity management? Capacity management involves adjusting the capacity of a resource, that is a system, machine or equipment, to meet the planned load or demand. It is used for budgeting and planning purposes. These are the various components of capacity management. One is monitoring, the other is analysis, then tuning, demand management, and capacity planning. So capacity planning is one of the component of capacity management. So capacity planning is described as a tool to minimize the discrepancy between the capacity of a business entity and customer demand. So by planning the capacity, we minimize the discrepancy. And strategic capacity planning is an approach for determining the overall capacity level of capital intensive resources. And these are the capital intensive resources, facilities, equipment, and labor. These are various strategies of capacity planning. So we can ap- adopt a lead strategy where when demand is increased, we increase the capacity. We can adopt a lag strategy and we can adopt a match strategy or adjustment strategy. This is the best scenario. And lead strategy means before the demand is increased, we increase our capacity. And lag strategy means after the increased demand is faced, we increase the capacity. What is the procedure for capacity planning? First, we assess the existing capacity. We forecast the demand or capacity needs, and we identify the alternatives. What are the benefits of capacity management? The benefits include cost effectiveness. It helps to defer expenses. It eliminates redundant work and to improve the efficiency. There are certain disadvantages of operating at full capacity And these are the various disadvantages. Production is rest and there is strain on resources if we work at full capacity or more than the best operating level. Quality of work is affected. Overworked and stressed employee is the result of working more than the optimal level. It seems demotivating if it is continued for long. It may result in loss of sales figures, unable to meet an unexpected increase in demand because we are already working at full capacity. Production equipment will require periodical repair and maintenance if we work at more than optimal capacity. So this is the graphical representation of same. There is a point known as best operating level, and before that point is underutilization of our resources, and after this is overutilization of our resources, and there are certain disadvantages as we have seen in overutilization of our resources, and this is the best operating level. Now I'll talk about capacity model. A model is built using the following information: types of machine tools needed to build a product, number of machines available, output in terms of quantity of products or services. And there are these two types of capacity models. One is static, the other one is dynamic. Now let us see what are the calculations which are required to build a capacity model. So these are certain terms or calculations. One is availability. It is the percentage of time that the machine usually produces. For example, a machine does not function due to mechanical failure in 10% of time and is in setup in 5% of time. So we have the machine available 85% of time. So availability is 85% of this machine, that is 100 minus 10 minus 5, 85%. Then units per hour produced is average number of products per hour that the machine can produce. For example, a hematology analyzer with a throughput of 60 samples per hour. So this is the unit produced per hour or UPH. Then time needed per product is the number of unit of products to be produced, that is demand forecast divided by units per hour of the machine. For example, to run 120 samples, the hematology analyzer will require 2 hours if it has a throughput of 60 samples per hour. Production time needed for each machine is the summation of time needed per product for all products. If more than one type of product is produced by a particular machine, then we need to calculate the production time needed for each machine. Then is hours available for a machine per time bucket, is number of working hours a day multiplied by number of days in time bucket multiplied by machine availability. This will be clear when I'll give the example of a clinical laboratory. And total loading or capacity utilization is equal to PT divided by HA. Now let us look at an example from a clinical laboratory. Let us say there is a hematology analyzer installed at a clinical laboratory, and it runs for 4 hours a day, and the time bucket we take is 6 days. So there are 40 working hours in 6 days, but the analyzer works for only 4 hours a day. So the availability of a hematology analyzer after excluding breakdown and setup time is 90%. In 10% of time, it is in breakdown and repair. Units per hour produced, that is throughput of our hematology analyzer, is 60 samples per hour. That is, it runs 60 CBC samples in an hour. Time needed per product, when the demand expected is 200 CBC samples per day. So it is 200 CBC samples per day. So 1200 CBC samples for 60 days. And to run these 1200 CBC samples, the machine will require 20 hours because the throughput is 60. Production time needed for each machine is 20 hours because there is only single product, that is CBC, and hours available for a machine per time bucket is machine runs for 4 hours for 6 days with 90% availability, that is 21.6 hours. So the total loading or capacity utilization rate for our hematology analyzer is PT divided by HA, that is 20 divided by 21.6, which is equal to 92.6%. So our machine is working at a capacity utilization of 92.6%. Now we can feed all these calculations in an Excel sheet and we can change various values of these parameters, and we can thus use our capacity model for capacity planning and capacity management. This is all for today. Thank you very much.